Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Susan Lopresti. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Today, I want to talk to you about easing your mind. Let's get on to that stress can be a killer. And if you continue to ignore your stress in regards to treatment, eventually your body will begin to manifest symptoms leading to disease if left untreated. Persistent stress and what exactly it is. Stresses have a major influence upon our mood, that's for sure, and our sense of well-being and our behavior and our overall health. Acute stress responses in young, healthy individuals may be adaptive and typically do not impose a health burden at all. When stress becomes unremitting, particularly in older or unhealthy individuals, the long-term effects of stresses can damage your health. And younger adults need to guard against falling into chronic stress traps as well. Learning to recognize and to address stress can prepare younger adults to age in a healthier and a more productive life. So the earlier that we learn to handle stress, the better off we'll be. And the relationship between psychosocial stresses and disease is affected by the nature, the number, and persistence of the stresses, as well as the individual's biological vulnerability, such as genetic, constitutional factors, psychosocial resources, and learned patterns of coping. So interventions have proven useful for treating stress-related disorders and may influence the course of chronic diseases. Chiropractors can help you identify your stresses in a number of ways and work with you to reduce or manage stress in a productive way to enhance your health and your life. Stress comes in many forms and it produces many symptoms. Mental symptoms range from worry and irritability to restlessness and insomnia, anger, hostility, or sensations of dread and even panic attacks from it. Can stress really impact your health? Absolutely. Scientific study after study proves the relationship between chronic stress, pain, and your health and your longevity. Let's look at that. Acute stress versus chronic stress. Let's talk about that. Chronic stress is vital to recognize the difference between acute stress and chronic stress. Acute stress can be very good for us, believe it or not. It's what pushes you to the finish line or to finish a hard project by its deadline, right? It helps you to get your family's breakfast, get them dressed, get them out the door every day. This is acute stress. Right? It pushes you to finish your exercise routine or pull that backyard barbecue together on time and have a wonderful time saying it was totally worth the stress that I went through. And the holidays could be acute stress. You're shopping, you're shopping for gifts, you're writing cards, you're preparing the menu for the dinner. It's what gets you going, keeps you moving, and gets the job done. With acute stress, you can enhance your ability to get comfy and discomfort. Agile people have learned to embrace messiness. They don't mask dark emotions, but it doesn't mean that you have to broadcast every rumination or wear that emotion on your sleeve 24/7. Northeastern University neuroscience Lisa Feldman Barrett demonstrates this through her extensive research on emotions and the brain, explaining that emotions are patterns that we have control over. Agile people know that the sooner they name their experience, the sooner they can pivot towards some form of recovery, healing, problem solving, and getting help. They also know that what seems like failure at the moment often becomes an eventual catalyst for success. Chronic stress is a different matter entirely. This is the stress that produces a negative impact on our health. It is unremitting and chronic and can be something as common as eating inflammatory foods or facing a critical spouse or boss every single day. Chronic stress is the stress that taxes your body and health and can literally kill you if left untreated. A 2016 study provides evidence that acute stress incites a stress response involving cortisol hormones, sympathetic endocrine activity, inflammation, and metabolism. The science of stress and the hormone cortisol. And you may have heard of this hormone before, and we're going to really get into it. High levels of cortisol can shrink nerve cells in the hippocampus and halt the creation of new hippocampal neurons. Like other hormones, cortisol normally rises and falls daily with the rhythms of your daily activities, with its production higher in the morning and lower in the evening. Prolonged or severe stress appears to disrupt the cycle entirely. Chronically stressed people sometimes have higher baseline cortisol levels and produce too much or too little of it at the wrong time. One of the cortisol primary functions is to help mobilize energy in times of acute stress by releasing glucose into the blood. But when cortisol remains chronically elevated, it acts along with high insulin levels to send fat into storage at the waist. Excess cortisol secretion in animals increases visceral fat. That's the fat that's in your waist that wraps around your organs. It's very, very unhealthy. Dr. Elise S. Epel at the University of California at San Francisco has found that even slender women, stress, cortisol, and belly fat all seem to go together. So whether you're already overweight or if you're at a normal weight, you're going to develop this belly fat when you're under chronic stress. Nerves connect the brain with the spleen and thymus, which are organs that are important for immune responses. And much remains unknown about how the brain, the endocrine system, and the immune system interact. And some of what is not known or well understood. For example, high levels of cortisol have long been known to shut off the production and action of cytokines, which initiate the immune response. At normal levels, cortisol can enhance immunity by increasing the production of inflammation-fighting cytokines. Yet, in some cases, it seems cortisol does not properly shut down the immune system under stress, allowing the continued production of cytokines that promote inflammation. These cytokines have been linked to heart disease, depression, stroke, and other illness. And you may have heard during COVID about cytokine storms, and that's exactly what it's all about. When your body's under extreme stress, it doesn't shut off and it works against you, actually. Stress and your health, it's very real. So far, hundreds of studies over the past 30 years have established a very strong link between stress, emotions, and our immune system. Even if discrepancies remain between results, this has been found. If you believe that stress is affecting your health, you're probably correct on that assumption. As a new study concludes, that perception may increase your risk for heart disease. Researchers studied 7,268 men and women averaging age 50 at the start of the project, using periodic questionnaires. There were 352 heart attacks or deaths from coronary disease over the 18 years of this study. The participants rated the effects of stress on their health, none, little, or a lot, and researchers controlled for more than 20 variables, including actual stress as measured by psychological tests. Those who said that stress affected their health a lot or extremely were 49% more likely than other participants to have a heart attack or die of heart disease. The study was published online in the European Heart Journal. The authors suggested that the perception of the negative effects of stress may increase your blood pressure or heart rate, or have indirect effects like increasing smoking or excessive drinking. What do you do about it? Well, the first step is to identify the stressor and then figure out and take action as to how to manage it. Physical activity, relaxation, and meditation are all great tools for managing stress. But for severe cases, you need to look for professional help. Immune and emotional stress responses constitute evolved adaptive defense processes that share common mechanisms. There is a two-way communication between emotion and immunity, right? And it has been shown that stress can contribute to, in varying extents, many illnesses and many diseases. Additionally, numerous animal studies have clearly shown a vast array of stresses that can alter many aspects of your immune response. The general findings depict that chronic stress, in varying extents, to many illnesses and diseases. Additionally, numerous animal studies have clearly shown a vast array of stresses can alter many aspects of the immune response. The general findings depict that chronic stress contributes to an onset, severity, and or progression of many infectious, such as immune response cancer, autoimmune diseases such as diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis. Recent findings about the crosstalk between neuroendocrine and also the immune system. We've heard about cytokines, we heard about cytokine storms, but what exactly are they? A recent research suggests that the body's response to an injury, like the cause of a tumor or an infection, is to release messenger chemicals known as cytokines. These messengers communicate with other parts of the body, such as your immune system, your brain, and your gut, to trigger response to this injury. Different messages elicit different responses, and the cytokines triggered by certain diseases have been found to set off not only a robust immune inflammatory response, but also the neurological changes that cause depression. Some researchers hypothesize that the behavioral changes caused by depression and anxiety, lethargy, and avoiding contact with others might have provided a survival benefit in the face of infection or injury. Your body released a flood of cytokines in response to the invasion of abnormal cells, and these chemical triggers stress your brain. Stress and its impact on your health is real. So now what do? Stress, how do we deal with it? In his book, 10 Reasons You Feel Old and Get Fat, Dr. Frank Lipman identifies stress as a major cause of feeling old and getting fat. It's a double whammy. And Dr. Lippman recommends a 2-week revitalized program and a lifelong health management program of eating the right foods, avoiding the wrong foods, finding the best supplements, movement, sleep, and also a sense of community. Then he suggests find effective ways to cope with stresses that you cannot change. You cannot always change your situation, but you can change your response to that situation. There are things in your life that you simply can't change. It's inevitable. You may begin a process of self-discovery as a way of you to view ways that you can challenge yourself to find ways to deal with these stressors, right? And the cause of them by elements of your life that are simply non-negotiable and non-changeable. Dr. Lippman recommends take 2 hours a week for yourself. Go to a museum, walk in nature, sit by a lake, fish maybe by the lake. Find a place to unwind, a place of peace and fulfillment. Balance your stress with genuine relaxation. You need to balance it out. Then you want to spend 1 day a week. And I know this sounds easier said than done, but 1 day a week with no email, no text messaging, no phone, and the evening without all electronics, including television. Free yourself and your family, if you can, of electronic communications at least 1 day a week. Learn to set limits, learn to say no. If you cannot find the time, do not have the time. If you have to sacrifice even your 2 hours a week of me time to participate in something else, simply say no. No, thank you. I'm terribly sorry. It's not possible for me to do that. You need to be able to speak up for yourself. And it's uncomfortable, but you need to learn how to do it. What else here? Exercise. Listen to music. Do a breathing exercise 4 times a day. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Consider trying Tai Chi or yoga if you've never tried either one of those. They're very, very powerful tools. They're in my life. I use them almost daily, and I would highly recommend giving that a try as well. Exercise number 1, defense. The question is not whether exercise relieves stress. The question is, how much of it do you need? That depends, right? Regular aerobic exercise will bring remarkable changes to your body, your metabolism, your heart, and also your spirit. It has a unique capacity to exhilarate and relax, to provide stimulation as well as calm, to counter depression and dissipate stress. It's a common experience among endurance athletes and has been verified in clinical trials that have successfully used exercise to treat anxiety disorders and clinical depression. If athletes and patients can derive psychological benefits from exercise, then I'm here to tell you, so can you. The mental benefits of aerobic exercise have a neurochemical basis. Exercise reduces levels of the body's stress hormones, such as adrenaline and cortisol. It also stimulates the production of endorphins. Those are the chemicals in the brain that are the body's natural painkillers and also mood elevators. Endorphins are responsible for the runner's high and for the feelings of relaxation and optimism that accompany many hard workouts, or at least the hot shower after the exercise is over, right? Even a simple 20-minute stroll can clear the mind and reduce your stress. But some people prefer the vigorous workouts that burn stress along with calories. You just do what feels right for you. You don't want to stress your body more by putting more stress on the fact, oh, I need to exercise, I need to do this, I need to run 10 miles. Don't do that to yourself. It's not necessary, right? So, like I said, even a simple 20-minute stroll can clear your mind and reduce stress. But some people prefer, and if you do prefer a vigorous workout, then go along and do that. It will help with stress and it burns calories. That's one reason ellipticals are really so popular in the gym, because you're really stressing your body out and it's a vigorous exercise. And the same stretching exercises that help relax your muscles after a hard workout will help to relax your mind as well. Regular physical activity keeps you healthy as it reduces stress. As the root cause of stress is emotional, it is best controlled by gaining insight, reducing life problems that trigger stress, if possible, and modifying behavior. But stress control can and should also involve the body. Aerobic exercise is one approach. Physical fitness will help promote mental fitness. But there is another approach that you can learn to use your mind to relax your body. The relaxed body will in turn send signals of calm and control to help reduce mental tension. Except during illness, you should exercise nearly every single day. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to hit the gym or training for a marathon, but it does mean 30 to 40 minutes of moderate exercise, such as walking, or 15 to 20 minutes of vigorous exercise. More is even better, but the first steps provide the most benefit. Aim to walk at least 2 miles a day, or do the equivalent amount of another activity. You could break it up, whichever works for you, right? You don't need to follow this to the T. These are just suggestions. You can do it all at once, or you could do it in 10 to 15-minute chunks at different times during the day if that works better for your schedule. It still adds up to the same thing. Add a little strength training and stretching 2 to 3 times a week, and you'll have an excellent, balanced program for health and also stress reduction. Exercise reduces stress and is the key to engage in regular physical activity to address the downward spirals of stress. And that's what this is really all about. Let's look at diet and stress. Consuming a Mediterranean diet is associated with reduced inflammation. The Mediterranean diet is rich in minimally processed plant foods, which has been associated with a reduced risk of developing multiple chronic diseases and increased life expectancy. So why not go for the Mediterranean diet? Data from several randomized clinical trials have demonstrated a beneficial effect in primary and secondary prevention of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, arterial fibrillation, and breast cancer. The diet has been repeatedly proven to impact inflammation. Flavonoids play a large role in creating a healthy immune system. The DASH diet is also a good immune system approach to better eating. It features menus with plenty of vegetables, fruits, and low-fat dairy products, as well as whole grains, fish, poultry, and nuts. It offers limited portions of red meat, sweets, and sugary benefits, which do contribute to inflammation. And for that reason, the Mediterranean diet is considered to be a better approach to a healthier lifestyle. And I'm going to put a link in the class notes with the comparison of the two diets, the Mediterranean versus the DASH diet. Even without formal meditation and controlled breathing, the gentle muscle stretching of yoga can reduce stress. Full service yoga is even better. But if that's not your thing, simply breathing exercises can help by themselves. Rapid, shallow, erratic breathing is a common response to stress. Slow, deep, regular breathing is a sign of relaxation. You can learn to control your respirations so they mimic relaxation. The effect, in fact, will be relaxing. Here's how to do some deep breathing exercises. You want to breathe in slowly and deeply, in through your nose, pushing your stomach out so that your diaphragm is put to maximal use. You want to breathe in, let's say for a count of 4, let's start. Then you want to hold your breath for a count of 4. And then you want to exhale slowly, thinking relax. And you could breathe out through your mouth. And if you want, if you feel comfortable, make a sigh of relief, like, ah, ah. And just let it out. Let it out. Repeat this entire sequence 5 to 10 times, concentrating on breathing deeply and slowly. Deep breathing is very easy to learn. You can do it anytime, any place. I do it a lot when I'm driving because I get very stressed out during driving. You can use deep breathing to help dissipate stress as it occurs, like when I'm driving. Practice the routine in advance, then use it when you need it most. And even do it when you don't need it so that you get into the practice of doing it on a daily basis. You will find it helpful. Consider the exercise. Do it 3, 4, 5, as many times a day as you want. I mean, it's just a great tool to have when you're feeling stressed out or very reactive. Take a couple of deep breaths before you respond to somebody or some situation. Take a step back. Take a deep breath. Right? So, mental exercises too. Bodily exercises can help to relax the mind, and mental maneuvers can too. So what do I mean by that? Most often, that means talking out our problems with a supportive listener who can be a friend, a chaplain, a trained counselor or psychotherapist. Even a health coach would be able to talk things out with you. But you could also do it yourself, harnessing the power of your own mind to reduce stress. Simply writing down your thoughts is a great way to get your feelings down on paper. It's very, very beneficial. And also, a formal meditation exercise can help many people reduce stress and gain a better perspective on what's going on in this situation. Meditation is a prime example of the unity of the mind and the body. Mental stress can speed the heart rate and raise your blood pressure. Meditation can actually reverse these physiological signs of stress. Scientific studies of Indian yoga masters demonstrate that meditation can, in fact, slow the heart rate, lower the blood pressure, reduce the breathing rate, diminish the body's oxygen consumption, reduce blood adrenaline levels, and also change skin temperature. That is really some valuable information that you should pay attention to and realize that every little thing that you react to that stresses you out is having a major effect on your health. And over time, this is going to begin to wear down your body. and it will eventually lead to disease. There's a few things that are more stressful than illness. Many forms of exercise reduce stress directly, and by preventing bodily illness, exercise has an extra benefit for the mind. Regular physical activity will lower your blood pressure, improve your cholesterol, and reduce your blood sugar. Exercise cuts the risk of heart attack, stroke, diabetes, colon and breast cancer, osteoporosis, and fractures, obesity, depression, and even dementia. Yes, memory loss. Exercise diminishes stress, it slows the aging process, increases energy, and prolongs life. After hearing all that, who doesn't want to start exercising? Let's go on to tea for stress relief and scientific fact. I love tea. I have my tea right here, right now, actually. So let's go on to talk about tea. Tea has been found helpful for many conditions, including fighting infections, alleviating stress, and immune support to ward off inflammation. Catechins, a type of disease-fighting flavonoid and antioxidant, are the keys to tea's health benefits. And here's a tip I want to give you. The longer you steep the tea, the more flavonoids you'll get in your brew. To get the best benefit of tea, some studies suggest drinking 3 cups each day to cut your risk of heart disease, just because it's relieving stress. Let's go on to talk about the different types of teas that there are. Green and black tea both contain antioxidants, which may prevent cancer and other diseases. For years, research focused on the health properties of green tea. Recent studies do indicate that black tea has benefits as well. In each case, oxidation and non-oxidation gives the tea a different set of antioxidant compounds. So green, black, and white teas are loaded with polyphenols, plant-derived compounds that boost the immune system and may even protect against certain inflammation-causing diseases. But according to the University of Maryland Medical Center, green tea contains the highest concentration of powerful antioxidants called polyphenols, since it's made from unfermented leaves. When it comes to fighting inflammation, green tea may help fight inflammatory conditions like Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, inflammatory bowel disease, and also certain cancers. Matcha tea is high in antioxidants, more so than wild blueberries or chocolate. Matcha tea is the most nutrient-rich green tea that is available. Tulsi tea, which I love also, it's also known as holy basil. It has anti-inflammatory antioxidants that reduce the painful and dangerous inflammation associated with various forms of arthritis, cancer, degenerative neurological disorders. It also supports and strengthens the prominent areas of the body, such as inoculating the immune system, providing lung and bronchial support, and fight free radicals. Sage tea, this is an herb tea that has anti-inflammatory properties that are both antibacterial and antifungal. It can help relieve strep throat, which is wonderful. And why not get yourself some sage tea, especially we're coming into the winter months now, and there's a lot of flus and bacterias and viruses going around. So as simple as drinking tea could really improve your health. Let's talk about kombucha tea. This is a potent detoxifier known for its antimicrobial and anti-cancer properties. It's a source of amino acids, antioxidants, polyphenols, probiotics, vitamins, and minerals. It contains B12. It's a source of glucosamine, which reduces pain and inflammation, particularly osteoarthritis. And it acts as an anti-inflammatory drug, like an Advil, let's say, but much better for your body than an Advil. And then there's ginger tea. I love ginger tea. I always put ginger in my tea regardless. Ginger tea works to reduce chronic inflammation, and it also helps to soothe the gut. Ginger is widely known for its antioxidative and anti-inflammatory properties and its ability to alleviate symptoms of gastrointestinal distress by relaxing and soothing the intestinal tract. According to research in the National Center for Biotechnology, ginger exhibits anti-inflammatory effects that decrease inflammation, swelling, and pain associated with osteoarthritis and rheumatism. Research published in the U.S. Natural Library of Medicine also suggests that ginger has anti-cancer properties because of its ability to curb the life or death of a cell. So here's a great little recipe for ginger. You want to boil the ginger for 10 minutes, place in a cup and add lemon or lime, 6 thin slices of raw ginger, 1.5 cups of boiling water, a half of a lemon or lime juiced. Dandelion tea is another great tea. I love dandelion tea. It's a detox for the body and fights chronic inflammation. Dandelions are more than just a weed. They can detoxify your body, relieve constipation, soothe an upset stomach, help reduce water weight, and help fight inflammation. Dandelion tea is made from the roots or the leaves of the plant and has been used in ancient Native American and Chinese medicine for thousands of years. Here are the ingredients: 1 to 2 tablespoons of dried dandelion leaves and a cup of water. Teas are good for many reasons. There is nothing better than a hot cup of tea on a cold day. They are relaxing and warming, and they have so many helpful properties to them. We have scientific evidence and we have our own life experiences as well. Teas are soothing, and we all understand that on a very visceral level. Vitamins. We know that they're good for us, but let's take a closer look at that. Stress and vitamins. Let's talk about that. Scientific evidence supports the use of vitamins in addressing stress. B-complex vitamins are like a beehive made up of 11 nutrients of worker bees, creating and sustaining your body's energy supply by helping to break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. The busy bee's activities keep your heart healthy and your immunity humming, and therapeutic doses are also a great treatment for headache, fatigue, mood, stress, and menstrual disorders. With B vitamins involved in so many of the body's operations, it's easy to see how coming up short can easily affect how well you feel on a given day. So treating your body to a B complex supplement is a virtual no-brainer. This is particularly key if you follow a vegetarian or a vegan diet, which may be short on your B vitamins. Magnesium is a mineral, and I believe everyone should be taking magnesium, that is responsible for the correct metabolic function of over 350 enzymes in the body. You'll find it in leafy greens, nuts, seeds, legumes, and even dark chocolate. Spinach, pumpkin seeds, and black beans are especially high in magnesium. Still, many of us will fall short. So what can magnesium do for you? It will help you unwind. It relaxes aching muscles and tense muscles. It keeps your blood pressure in check and also eases constipation. Glutathione is one of the most powerful antioxidants our body produces. It regulates metabolic processes, and it is crucial for proper mitochondrial function and energy production. It's also thought to play an important role in reducing free radicals, clearing heavy metals, and supporting immune function, which are all worthy, health-enhancing pursuits that we should all have. Chronic illness, over-the-counter medications, long-term toxic exposure, stress, and aging can not only deplete stores of glutathione, but also inhibits our ability to produce it. And low glutathione levels have been linked to every major aging process in the body. So fight back with supplementation and keep your energy levels higher for longer. The good news is that until recently, the only way to get glutathione into the body efficiently was intravenously. Now there is an effective oral form. Life management as stress management. I believe the best way to approach stress is from a broad spectrum. Learn how to bounce back and build tools that you could use to restore your life to a balanced center. These ideas will help you to do that. Reframe your situation. See the upside rather than the downside of a predicament. For example, if you're sad that your grown child isn't calling you as often as you like, try to be proud and happy that you helped your child become an independent adult. That's an example. Lean on your social network. Friends and family are important stress buffers, or they can be, depending on who you're dealing with, right? So you can cope better if you do have people that you can share your stresses with, or people to help you in some way. Cultivate positive thinking. When you're stressed, it's easy to think about what's wrong. That's where we all go to. Focus on 3 things that are going well instead, right? Or 3 things that you're grateful for each day. Appreciate something as simple as enjoying a cup of tea or a nice chat with a friend or a coworker. Laugh more. That's another thing. Laughing can decrease stress and boost the immune system. Laughter is contagious, and it's not always dependent on humor. Be realistic. Do not be optimistic when it's not realistic. That will lead to disappointment. Try to be objective and come to a realistic assessment of your situation and be optimistic if it is appropriate. Think of a positive outcome, not a negative one. Consider an upcoming situation and visualize the positive qualities that you bring to it. Meditate on your lunch hour. Practicing a meditation technique counters stress by eliciting the relaxation response. That helps to lower your blood pressure, your heart rate, your breathing rate, your oxygen consumption, and also your stress hormones. Take classes after work for yoga, tai chi, meditation, guided imagery, or deep breathing exercises. Whatever resonates with you, whatever seems like something that you would enjoy to do is what you need to do. I can't advise you because I'm me and you are you. And I want you to do something that's going to be enjoyable for you, that's going to relax you. If you're doing something that you don't enjoy, chances are it's going to stress you out, and that's counterproductive, right? So we don't want to do that. So let's go on to talk about set up future pleasure. And what do I mean by that? Well, anticipation of joy. Looking forward to something enhances your life and it reduces stress. It's important to always have something to anticipate with joy, regardless of what it is. Entertainment could be a good way to find a stress-free world, even if it's only for a few hours, a bit of an escape. Be proactive in finding entertainment that is a good fit for you. There are many options from online streaming to podcasting to music. Spend a little time thinking about the time that you spend commuting to work. During that time, listen to something that will uplift you rather than spending the time ruminating about things that you can't control, like the traffic that you're in or the asshole that cut you off and stuff like that. Try to alleviate that. These work issues will be there, and these things will happen all the time. They're not going anywhere, but we need to learn how to deal with them in a positive light. So if you're stressed out and you're commuting, put a podcast on, put some soothing music on, anything that's going to distract you from the stress of your commute. The better your skills for finding contentment, that's a good fit for you, your interests, and your moods, the more that you'll be willing to do this, and the more it will boost your mood positively from a sense of fun and discovery and learning new things. Time and service. Ask yourself this: do you spend money to save time or spend time to save money? We all buy things, but maybe some of the things we buy should be time. Think about this. A recent study published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, whose findings suggest that spending money to save time may reduce stress about the limited time in the day, thereby improving happiness. So people who spent money to buy themselves time, such as outsourcing disliked tasks, reported greater overall life satisfaction, and research did not see the same effect when people used money for material goods. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say cleaning your house and doing laundry. That takes time. If you don't want to do that and you'd rather do something else with that time, you may want to hire someone to come in and clean your home and do your laundry. Or maybe if you're like me and you're a podcaster, and instead of you editing and writing and doing all the technical stuff behind the scenes, maybe you want to hire someone to produce your show for you, so you could put more value into the time of recording your podcast. Or whatever it is, cutting your grass, doing your gardening, doing shopping. Maybe you'd rather shop online for your groceries than going to the store, walking up and down the aisles, bringing the groceries in the house, putting them away. Doing it online, you alleviate a lot of those steps. Maybe it's a couple of pennies more, or maybe it's a couple of $100 more a month. But certainly if you could afford to trade money for time, I would suggest you do that, especially if it's alleviating stress. You can look at it as a life-saving tool and an anti-aging tool as well, right? So, know yourself. The point is that you need to know yourself. You cannot be true to yourself if you do not know who you are. When you have not developed a strong sense of self, your well-being can depend on what others say or what others don't say. Did you ever notice that? Someone says something to you and you're like, why did they say that? And you become all caught up in what they're saying and you feel insecure, and now you're taking this message home with you. No, know yourself, know your self-worth. If someone's putting you down or says something that doesn't sit right with you, you have to let that go. Let it go. And once you know yourself, then you're able to do that. It needs to be consistent with your core values. Build your values on integrity, demonstrated by the honesty, trustworthiness, and honor that pervades your life and your action. Embrace an attitude of optimism. in the belief that you will succeed in doing well, even in the face of challenges, regardless of what it is. Demonstrate compassion for both yourself and others through acts of compassion and concern that show that you care about others, and be confident that they care about you. If they do not, consider the challenge of change. Practice forgiveness in your life so mistakes are quickly forgiven and used as opportunities for learning. Live a life of trust, demonstrated in the courtesy, the consideration, and the respect enacted through your life's conduct, but only so far as there is mutual trust. If you live a life where you are not forgiven or trusted, again, consider the challenge of change. And I know that's easier said than done, but at least consider it and put it out there. A sense of self vanishes without a sense of your own core principles, right? Others can manipulate you without you even realizing it through their anxiety or project their fears onto you. You have enough work developing and maintaining your own core values without internalizing their fears. This sense of self requires balance, because we can all learn and enhance our sense of selves, but to ignore your own needs creates a chronically stressful life. You can't ignore your own needs. I always use the example when you're on an airplane and the airline stewardess is going through the evacuation if there's an emergency, and they always say to put that oxygen mask on yourself before you give it to your children. And there's a reason for that. You can't take care of others unless you've taken care of yourself first. Otherwise, you will be depleted and you won't be good for anybody else. So always keep that in mind. The sense of self requires balance, because we can all learn and enhance our sense of self, but to ignore your own needs creates a chronically stressful life. You will have to incorporate discernment and understanding when change on your part is necessary for a health-filled life, and when your core values have been assaulted, and you must consider the challenge of change of your life circumstances. With a strong sense of self, you can manage your stress with your own internal confidence that your decisions and your directions are right for your life. You recognize life is not always smooth, but by adhering to your values, you can make the right decisions. Stress is reduced as you manage your relationships with others rather than attempting to manage everyone else's feelings. People treat you the way you treat yourself, with respect, and if they do not, perhaps then you should begin a growth strategy that may be vital but uncomfortable to change your environment. Change is stressful. Positivity can be a rigid negativity. Blend skepticism and optimism while you acknowledge challenges that yet remain focused on looking for the silver lining, but do not fear change when it leads to a better life. Doing the right thing just feels good, and it has its own rewards. Don't think of doing the right thing exclusively in terms of larger scale actions, like volunteering or changing the world. Recycling is good. Consider the act of human kindness and appreciation, being friendly or encouraging to your waiter or your manicurist or your neighbor. It's really easy to get self-absorbed when life is busy and you're dealing with your own stresses and anxiety. Do one good thing, one nice thing. Say one good thing, one nice thing to somebody else. Show a genuine concern. Don't be phony. Touch base with a close friend you haven't contacted in a while. Congratulate a coworker on a success. Give that positive feedback for excellent service. Make an effort to get to know a new person at work that you have not gotten around to meeting yet. If you are the opposite of me and you tend to push your personal productivity aside because you get caught up in others being pro-social and friendly, then you might try a different approach. In your case, it might be more of a mood boost to you to close your door, to turn off your phone, to hunker down on working on your own goals for a period where you are not accessible to others. Do the right thing that feels right for you, that makes you feel less stressed. And then you want to draw upon resilience and hope. Resilience and hope are two important factors of dealing with stress, but how do you find them? How do you incorporate them in your life? Resilience and hope are sources of inner strength that contribute to human development and well-being across a lifespan. They can also protect against the impact of negative life events and be valuable tools in dealing with stress. Hope acts together with other inner resources as protection against external threats or inner vulnerabilities. Hopefulness is a component of positive psychological well-being, contributing to reduced all-cause mortality in healthy populations and enhancing life quality and recovery in diverse medical conditions. On the other hand, hopelessness has been clearly associated with anxiety and depression. Hope can create resilience. I hope that these tools for healthy living life have inspired you to recognize stress and take action. Lifestyle and stress adenum. Your lifestyle can affect how well your immune system can protect you from germs, viruses, and chronic illness. Replacing bad habits with good ones can help keep your immune system healthy. And that's what we all want, right? And it sounds very easy. We know it's not. But again, I would suggest that if you're struggling, you may want to go see a chiropractor because they could really help in a lot of these areas about treating the whole person to restore a healthy, long, and pain-free life if you're also experiencing pain. If you see yourself in this list, you may need to make some changes. For example, you're short on sleep. You don't exercise. Your diet is off balance. You're always stressed. You're too isolated. You lost your sense of humor. We all love our iPhones, right? So set your phone to buzz you once an hour while you're working at your desk. Use this alert to stand up and move. It's important to move, just move. That's really all you have to do. Stand up, spend less time sitting and more time standing to fight chronic stress and lower blood sugar levels, bad cholesterol, and at the same time, reduce your risk of heart disease. Try to take a 5-minute walking break every hour and do not sit for more than 45 minutes at a time. Walk to the bathroom, walk to the elevator, walk around the block, walk as much as you can. Even a little is better than none at all. Try a Mediterranean diet or the DASH diet that I talked about and see if that helps you a little bit. Also, go a little nuts. Eat a handful of walnuts, almonds, or hazelnuts, or pecans. Peanuts can be a good substitute as well. Eat at least 3 to 5 portions of vegetables a day, and no more than 2 pieces of a low-sugar fruit is fine. Berries and apples are best. And 2 or 3 portions of oily fish a week, such as salmon, mackerel, sardines, tuna. They're all great sources for your heart. And then you want to walk. Beat stress. Chronic stress increases levels of the hormone cortisol, like we talked about. This can boost your appetite, making you more likely to put on weight, but it also increases insulin resistance. The simple breathing technique performed for 2 minutes, 4 times a day, can help. This is the end of our time here today. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. If you have any questions, you could go to my website, www.susanlopresti.com. Until the next time, be well, stay happy, and bye for now.